So before we get started and show you step by step how to set up these campaigns, I just want to share with you a few ideas so that you understand the tricks so that we can reduce your cost in overall spend. So you can see I've had over 11,000 clicks from the pay-per-click campaigns, and we've kept it at an average of 60 cents per click. So one of the ways that we are able to do this is we create a folder. So we create a campaign. So you're going to create a campaign. You're going to call it local search. Then within that folder, you want to create an ad for each of the different types of keywords. So you're going to have a house values ad. You're going to have MLS, real estate, detached, townhomes, and so on. Now if you work in multiple cities, then you would have one for each city. So Oshawa MLS, Whitby MLS, Pickering MLS, and so forth. That's one of the ways that we can improve the quality, lowering your overall cost, is because we know if we put together, I click on the Oshawa MLS one, here's the keywords that I have for that campaign. These are just samples, and I just set this campaign up a couple days ago, so there's not a ton of activity. But it shows you how laser focused, you know if a person is searching these words, you know exactly what it is they're looking for. And if you show an ad that has the keyword in the title, they have a higher chance of clicking on it. And Google actually tracks that. So they track how many times was your ad shown. So in this example, it was shown 143 times. Of those 143 impressions, how many times was it clicked? 14 times. So that gives a click-through rate of 9%. On this term, Oshawa MLS, we have a click-through rate of 16%. And then the next one is 16%. And then these ones are 0, and I want to show you how to fix that as well. But in Google's eyes, it's got a 9% chance of making money by showing your ad. It's got a 16% chance of making money by showing your ad. And the other realtors, they have a click-through rate of like 1 or 0.5, so not even a full percent. So we're going to show you how to get a higher click-through rate, which is going to give you better positioning and a lower cost. So right now, this campaign that I just set up a couple days ago, the average cost is 88 cents, 80 cents, 91 cents. Now, one of the reasons why we have such a low cost is because instead of just doing the keyword of MLS Oshawa, we put it in quotations. Now that's going to, Google has a couple ways that you can do advertising. One is broad match, and this is what most realtors do. They'll do an example of, well, I want to be found when somebody searches Toronto real estate, and they don't put the quotations around it. Well, when you do that, Google is going to include any misspellings, synonyms, related searches, and any other variations. So for an example, if somebody typed in Toronto real estate, it could show Toronto real estate for sale when a person is searching for that. And you don't want that. So what you want to do is you want to put it in quotations, and then it's going to just add simply varying ways like search Toronto real estate and that sort of thing. The way we get around not being shown for when a person is searching homes for rent and leasing is that we can give a negative keyword. So we can tell Google if people type in rent, renting, or lease, so if they type in Toronto real estate, and that's one of the keywords we're targeting, we can minus the word rent. So if in the same sentence they have the word rent, renting, or lease, your ad will not appear. Now, some areas have real competitive environments. And so if you were targeting the broad term of Toronto real estate, you have a lot of realtors. So the best way is to put it in the quotations. However, if you still find that your cost is high, then you can put it in brackets. And what that means is if they go to Google and type in Toronto real estate and nothing else, then your ad will appear. So that is the ultimate as far as tightening up your keywords, but it's also going to limit the number of searches. So I find the best way to do it is to do the quotations, and then if, in this example, so here I have an example and nobody searched Oshawa, Ontario MLS. So what I'm going to do is I want to change that because that's too strict. I want to open that up, and I'm going to go to the broad match. Now don't worry about this. I want to do step by step so you can see it, but I'm just kind of giving you an overview so you have a better understanding of how this whole thing works. So I like those numbers. I'm going to keep them as is, as having the quotations. Now these ones, they should, by next week, start getting results because I have it as a broad match. There's no quotations at all. And then when you scroll down in the negative keywords, I've listed if they put lease, rent, and rentals because I don't want any of my ads to show for that. Now, if you're going to do pay-per-click advertising, you absolutely need to have a website because you're driving them from Google to your website. So here's a couple of examples of what you want them to land on. The first one would be if you have a campaign targeting your city and townhomes for sale, well, you know the page that you want them to land on is Oshawa townhomes for sale. So I'm going to give them a map of all the townhomes for sale in the Oshawa area. If your website doesn't allow you to do a list, then you can just show all the real estate for sale. And if you don't have IDX built into your website and you don't know what you're going to drive people to, you could always do video. So if people do a search for bungalows in your city, it's very hard for them to find bungalows on the MLS. I mean, they can search freehold property and they're going to see semi-detached, they're going to see 2 stories, they're going to see side splits and back splits and bungalows. But a lot of people are searching only for bungalows because they don't want the stairs. Well, you can do a campaign targeting all the people in your city searching for bungalows, and instead of driving them to a page with all the bungalows, because you can't, you can drive them to a page with a video explaining to them how they're not easily finding just bungalows for sale, and all they have to do is tell us what they're looking for and then hit the submit button, and we're going to match the criteria to the new listings going forward that match their needs. Now, if you do have a website or you don't have a website, I want to show you some tricks. This is a template that's provided by Agent Locator, and any template that you're using, you can do something similar. So go to your template and use it like a consumer. So go to the search area. You'll have to find where the buyers search listings on your real estate website. So here I'm going to go to search. Then I'm going to just say Toronto. And property type, I'll pick off, for example, townhouses. Now when I hit submit, watch up at the top, this URL is going to change, and so will yours. So you go to your website, find how people do a search, do a basic search, so we can do a campaign based on all the townhouses in Toronto, based on all the condo townhouses in Toronto, all the semis, condo apartments, and detached homes. So I'm going to pick off freehold townhomes in Toronto and hit submit. When I do that, this link up here is going to change, and that will happen on your website too. Now this is the link that is always going to be updated in Toronto for the townhouses. Well, now you know this is the page that you're going to drive people to when you set up a campaign targeting townhouses in Toronto. Now I could also say, what about all the detached homes? Hit submit, and this URL up here is going to change and all the listings will change. So now here's the detached homes. So this is the link up here. I would just copy this, and that would be the landing page for that campaign. You don't want to just drive people to your home page. I mean, this would still be a good one because it has a search option right up here. But you're predetermining based on the campaign. So if they're searching for house values, well, you already know what they're looking for. So go to your website, find the house values page. So I'm going to click on this, and this is the house values page that they have. Well, that's the link that you're going to drive them to. So you have to, if you do any paid advertising, have a website that 1, has listings on it, and 2, has the ability for you to create different landing pages. You don't want to drive everybody to the same landing page. You already know what they're searching. So I've created a bunch of sample campaigns for you. So in this example, you have to be city specific. So if I work Durham region, there's 4 or 5 different communities that I work. So Oshawa, Whitby, Pickering, Ajax, and Bowmanville. Well, I would have one campaign for each city. So in here I have Toronto house values, Toronto home values, Toronto property values. Well, I would change that and have Oshawa house values and have a campaign just for Oshawa. Then I would have another one just for Whitby, just for Ajax, just for Pickering, because that person at that moment All they care about is the house values in the city that they're searching. So I've put together kind of the basic keywords that you're going to want to use, and I'll show you a quick trick. This is a Microsoft Word document, and it doesn't matter what generation of Microsoft Word you have. If you hit Control F, a dialog box will appear that allows you to do a search. So right here I have all the keywords as Toronto. Now what if you don't work in Toronto? What if you work in Mississauga? So I would hit Control F, type in the city that I want to change. So I want to change all the Torontos. Well, there's a drop down that says replace. When you hit replace, you can say find what. So find all of the Torontos and replace with, and I'll do Mississauga. And then hit replace all. That just changed all those Torontos into Mississaugas. So there was 76. I just saved you like a half hour of time right there by knowing that trick. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to do another video showing you getting into Google and setting everything up. I just wanted you to have a general idea of this is how we're going to keep your costs low by creating little buckets, and then also that you need a website. So if you don't have a website, contact a company like Agent Locator or any of the other ones that service your community, and you need to have the IDX or listings on your website. If you don't, then stay away from paid advertising, except for the niches. If you do seminars, you can create a page on your website talking about a investing seminar or a first-time homebuyer seminar or searching bungalows for sale. Anything that doesn't require them actually seeing listings, you can do that kind of campaign. So here we go. We're going to move on and actually do a campaign for you.